Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage, Paul Mooney.
This is, well, I'm extremely thrilled and happy to be here tonight to this OJ tribute. So glad so many white people came out. You guys don't like that at all. It's too funny. The only mistake OJ made, he made two mistakes. He didn't recycle the black dollar. He did. He ordered that white limousine service that said, we don't know, it's a gorilla, it's a shadow, we don't know what it is. If he'd have recycled that black dollar and just ordered Jackson Limousine, he'd have had an airtight alibi. Them niggas would have got there late. He'd have missed his plane. They'd have set up, played bid whist, drank up all the Hennessy, been talking shit all night. Come on, OJ, show us some more naked pictures of them white girls. But that was just a tease. I don't. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Those of you that can laugh and relate back there, thank you for freezing. The forest lawn back there just like this. That's why I love LA so much. That's why it's burnt twice. It is so racist. It is. This is little Mississippi. You motherfuckers is, but God's working on you. Everything's coming out. I love it. Anyway, it is. God is loose in LA, and they're used to the devil being loose, and there's a lot of surprises coming for a lot of folks. You house niggas better wake up. This is a whole... Oh, it's a surprise. But that's not why we're here. I noticed when I was coming in, there was a lot of lies being told about the old days. Tim was up talking all that bullshit and mentioning Rocco. Rocco doesn't produce, you can't get a job, but he doesn't do that anymore. So there was no need to try to run that little game. You have a career now, see? No, see, in those days, he didn't have one. Those were when you were talking, I was going, is this Tim Reed? Tim Reed that I know? No, in those days, let's tell the real tea. There was no jobs, there was no career. And the Richard Pryor show, NBC, you have to remember that NBC, Richard's not off of NBC because of Richard Pryor. Richard's off of NBC because of Richard. Richard couldn't take that every day of television. NBC loved every fucking second of it. It gave them all life. Dick Episode and all that old bullshit. And his crazy Christian wife, we'll get into that later. But they loved every fucking minute of it. They loved every minute of it. And Bert Sugar Daddy, I'm Sugarman, I'm sorry. Richard was away in Europe on a vacation, and Bert and them was getting Imogene, Coca, and this one and that one. White folks were running around getting everybody they wanted in the show. And I kept telling them, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I was just a poor little nigga from the ghetto. It's not gonna work. They kept saying, yeah, fine, we'll take care of this. And they all went along and they had a whole big show. Richard came back and fired everybody. From Imogene to Sid Caesar, he fired everybody he could get his hands on. So then we started hiring people, and what's funny about it is this was a first, because the Comedy Store was here, and the Comedy Store had all this talent. And nobody didn't know him. You have to remember this. Nobody didn't know any of these people. Richard told them at NBC, said, I want Paul to go cast the show because he knows everybody. And go, if he says they're good, they're good. And don't have them audition. That doesn't happen in Hollywood. They want to get off. You know that. They want to get off. They want to audition their mama, their cousin, everybody, because they want to play the seducer producer. So they want to go through their whole routine. Richard said, give them respect because these are talented people. Just hire them. And that's how they got hired. Tim knows, did you have to audition for your job? Fuck no. And that's the truth. They were hired, all of them. That went from Tim Reed to Robin Williams, you remember him, to Sandra Bernhard, to Marsha Warfield, to, because I'm forgetting them too, we all get Hollywood, to Spoon, Jimmy Martinez, which is very funny, the funniest Latin I've ever known, to Jimmy, to Argus Hamilton, to, who else was on the show? There was so many of them. Martin Lawrence was in grade school, nigga. Don't it take a brother? Don't it take a brother? to try to fuck up a nigga's whole trip? Martin Lawrence, Eddie Griffin. We're talking history, not mystery. We're talking history now. And this is a first for Joey Kamen, Falstaff Wild, first gay comic, Fat Falstaff, who's dead now, who's passed. We had all these people on our show. And Edie, I can't even think of Edie's name. Edie was there. Yeah, Edie McClure, a whole Vic Dunlap, a whole bunch of folks was on the show. Charlie Hill, the Indian. We had our first Indian. We had them all. And they all came out of this. They all came out of the comedy store. And Paulie Shore was an extra on the show, him and his sister. So they were all there. And this, what's that little boy's name that we were going to hang and they didn't let us do it? The little one. No, he used to be a parking attendant. He turned into an agent. Huh? Alan Bursky. We were going to hang him in the death. Remember in our punk rock shit? We was going to hang this motherfucker at NBC. You cannot hang anyone on a television show. And we said, please. Remember, Mitzi? We were all so happy. We said, can we hang him, please? They said, we can't do that. But this is how the show started, and this is how it happened. It was very creative, and Rocco was like an errand boy for Sugar Daddy. I'm being real. You guys don't know this. And Richard is the one that insisted on Rocco producing because he knew that Bert couldn't stand it. And he said, that's who I want to produce the show. Because he just wanted to fuck everybody's head up. And then we had Diane. She was on the show working for Bert, and she was a nigger lover. She loved all the niggas, and they wanted to get rid of her. Remember, Richard? Remember they wanted to get, and we laughed about that day? We said, oh, they're going to get rid of the nigger lover. And Richard said, no, we're keeping the nigger lover. She's not going because Diane was blonde, had all the titties, and all up in the nigger's face. So they said, we have to get rid of the nigger lover. So anyway, good. But it was great. Thank you for smiling. Miss, you can come back to reality. Thanks a lot. This white woman's in the zone. I know you wish you would be witch, don't you? Get out of here. But it was great, and we worked real hard, and we were very creative, and if you watch the shows, which you can come and see them on the weekend at the Directors Guild, the shows were like way ahead of their times. Way ahead of their times. I mean, it set the stage for Living Color and the rest of that bullshit, and everybody copied us from our thing about the Army. Everything we did, they all have copied it, so I was very proud of it. We worked very hard, and that's a part in history and a part of Richard's life and my life that we can't really forget because we loved it, and the thing is, we all loved it. We all loved every fucking minute of it. And I'm just happy to be here tonight. And I'll cut it short because this man, I mean, I've known him since, well, I was so many wives. For a very long time, and I've loved him for a long time and respected him and his talent, and I was his biggest fan. And if you listen to his old albums, you'll hear me. I mean it. I was his biggest fucking fan. And I think it's wonderful, this tribute, everything else to him and his career. And he's the baddest shit. And I'm just glad to be a part of it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Paul Mooney!